Peace to the fam. 2023, some say 15,108 if you're following the calendar. It's Black History Month, February 1st. This is the first installment of yet again the Black Rose Nation coming at you. Baba Luai Nushabaz Allah, Dr. Carbon the Medicine Man. We're going to drop some serious information to feed our roots, to grow our tree, to produce that good fruit. We're going to get black to our roots. Now, how we find our way black is the who, what, the when, where, and the why. The who being the social studies, the what being the economics, the when being the history, the where being the geography, and the why, or the how, politics. And of course, the stuff grandma used to say. So this will all help us get black to our roots and this understanding of this who, what, when, where, and why, and of course, the stuff grandma used to say. And this is our duty. It is your duty as a civilized person to teach civilization and to add on to civilization for the entire human family. So we're over here right now at BMO Studios. I'm currently waiting outside because my Earth's in there practicing for another production. The Leno Reed, Georgina Wetzel story. You know, great actress, my Earth. A few years ago, she played in We Were Here. Told a story of a lot of blacks that immigrated here during the late 1700s, which we're going to dive into a little bit here today while I'm waiting out here for my Earth Queen to get back. So where we live, out on the beautiful Kingston Peninsula, New Brunswick, Canada. With the loyalists, who they're calling the loyalists. Now when we say the loyalists, the black loyalists were black folks who were seeking self-administered reparations to use any means necessary to free themselves from circumstance, to give themselves coochie chuggalia, to get that self-determination. So with the offer of the British and how that was set up, many chose to come. Now, I'm not about to over pump the loyal part to the monarchy, but I will pump by any means necessary for self-determination and self-administered reparations, that you take use of those tools and use them by your means to accomplish that. So, 1785, some of the folks who my queen and the other kings are playing in there came up here with the United Empire Loyalists, came up here with the Loyalists, and around here in New Brunswick, three large black land allotments were given. We have Elm Hill, we'll have Willow Grove, and we'll have the Kingston Peninsula, where I'm raising my family, where we're raising our family. So, the largest of those was Kingston Peninsula, where I'm from. Now, unlike Elm Hill and Willow Grove, which had thriving communities, roots still found there, folks still dig that back deep with those roots, still connected to that land, still with that land because of that RBG, that red, black, and green, the power of land, wealth, and resource in the land, because that's where the resource comes from, is the land, and where you sell that resource from is on land. So access to and having an ownership of land is the self-determination, and it is that power. Now let's correct some of the story, the systemic racism. So systemic racism, Varma, Higgs, Blaine Higgs, systemic racism. This is systemic racism here. Wait for it. I'll explain it. This is simple. This is a simple example. We say that blacks got the worst land. Blacks got the worst land. Couldn't farm it. It's the worst land. That's how they got treated bad. Now, it is true that in the eyes of many, it was bad land for growing potatoes. It's not ideal white farmland. But just because it's not ideal white farmland does not mean it is bad land. But unfortunately, in the mindset of many who grew up in this system to live here, since they were told it is bad land, still view the land as bad, and don't necessarily see the economic resource, either through food, through the moose, the deer, the partridge, the rabbit, through the use of the water, digging the ponds so you can go ice fishing, you can go skating. You have the cattails, the food, the mints, the wild flora and fauna that grows that will be able to feed you. The wealth and resource in that land is there. So part of who we are, the Black Rose Nation, is to draw powernomics to the understanding of this land. Now, late 1700s, black folks got land in Kingston. No community grew. Elm Hill, Willow Grove, community grew. Now, it didn't in Kingston. Now, how come it didn't in Kingston? Why didn't it grow in Kingston? Let's dive into that at some point, and we'll get on to some undrip, some land back, and some understanding in politics and how this has shifted. But didn't grow. So about 5 years later, Lieutenant Governor Charleston took that land and allotted it to the white farmers. So, and the 2,600 acres to the black folks was gone. Now, this is something I think we could legally work with in order to find some actual reparations for today, in order to make our communities thriving. What we call multicultural, which is individual cultures all being around so we can experience each other rather than a homogenized culture, is something we'll definitely build for as the Black Rose Nation. But, so, lost the land. So black folks in the Maritimes weren't getting treated bad. Some of these black folks are being portrayed at the BMO studios as Black History Month by director Clyde Ray. Some wonderful actors, My Earth, Earth Rufina, and the god Timothy Christie. Director Clyde Ray will be performing. Woo! Where you at? All right, come back up here. We get this lab going again. All right, so didn't form a community here. You know, first race rise in North America. You know, they'll say is Nova Scotia. So some shit went down. Folks weren't getting treated good. Black folks went back over to fight with the Crown and said, yo, this ain't happening over here in the Maritimes. We're getting treated bad. We're losing our land, getting stuff usurped, can't sell our stuff. So they came back and said, yo, black folks, I got your trip back to Africa. We got a place to go. We're going to name that place Freetown. We're going to go back there, get back to our roots. We reconnect with the motherland. So that's what they did. 1,700 black folks bounced from the Maritimes here back to Africa. So they got back to Africa, living it up. Boom, boom, boom. We're going to do this thing right. Come to find out, it was kind of another usurp, just like the land was usurped and misused and directed through systemic racism to lose it there and abuse them. Same thing happened in Freetown. So, of course, that led to a revolt and violence that led to Thomas Peters and many of the ones who went from here to there either being killed or exiled because they were rebelling because, you know, I don't want to go from indentured servitude, slavery, kidnapping, prisoner of war, internment camp, concentration camp there, here no matter where I go. I don't want to be living under that. So there was a rebellion. And that the Creole come from all over, but this is a connection that, you know, unifies us all and can bring the story together. Now, I don't say this to have another one of these over-the-top violence, excitement stories that people want to talk about during Black History Month. I tell this in a roundabout way to say, but we're now living on the Kingston Peninsula, where our business can be found. Where we're teaching and promoting the health and well-being of the mind, the body, the soul, and the spirit, and the land, and the soil, and the sunshine, interconnected with the people together. So as an entire community, we live together holistically. Farming culture, human culture, flora culture, fauna culture, animal culture, mineral culture, the mineral domain, the light domain, the sound domain. Bring it together holistically. So yeah, that stuff happened. Up the road from my house, they still call it Knapp Lake, Knapp Lane. Knapp, the biggest slave trader, slave beater, slave abuser, slave trader and seller around these parts. You know, that's still advertised up the road. They still got that. We still got slave men on the walls, hanging and stained glass all over. But our business is there. And we're thriving. We're coming with some Kuji Chagalia. See this right here? This is Ray Sean Miller, RM Apparel. Black-owned business here in the Maritimes, still thriving, kicking ass. You see these here? These bees from Black Men's Health, AJ, King, the Drummond family. The Maritimes march to the beat of the Drummonds. You don't know what I'm saying? Well, then you lost. You need to get on that civilized side to get some understanding. But I'm here to say, this Black History Month in the year 15,108, the Black Rose Nation is coming with some Kuji Chagalia. The Black Rose Nation was coming from information that's going to build past just the violent stories what we all need to feel bad about, and we're going to add on some positive civilization that teach how our minds and bodies and spirits to grow in strength, in happiness, in unity and self, so that when others other than self see and interact with, they get excited of the new flavors, the new smells, the new taste, the new sweet and the sours and the hots and the colds. You be you, I'll be me. Find out who you is, what you is, and get black to your roots through the who, what, when, where, and why. Stay tuned this entire Black History Month. Go to the YouTube channel. Find us in IG. Find us on the BlackRoseNation.com website. This is Babaluai Nusha Bazala, Dr. Carbon, the Medicine Man, outside the BMO studios. Because we're acting, we're presenting, we're eating, we're selling, we're patronizing, we're teaching. Find us at the Black History Historic Society on Brunswick Square. For Black health and wellness. Well, just find us everywhere. Get those dollar bills out. Let that dollar circulate.
Peace.